Hello there, my wonderful audience, and welcome to haQ attaQ. My name is Jakob, and you're watching a video in where I'm talking about a volume control. Yes, that is all that it is doing. Now, most of you aren't going to be interested in this because you might be fine with just using the volume controls provided to you by iOS. Well, I'm not fine with it, and I'm sure that there's a small percentage of people in my audience that are gonna look at this and think, hey, I want that, because they want to be able to set the volume accurately. I can tell you that in my case, this is usually something I want to do when I'm just watching YouTube videos or listening to my favorite music service. And sometimes when I'm browsing the web and just listening to samples and stuff, I just want to be able to accurately set the volume. Let me just start by saying that it is impossible for me to not be positively biased towards this app because it's made by David from auDSPr. First of all, he's a patron of mine and he has been that for quite some time. Secondly, the guy technically made an app for me. Well, I'm sure he needed it himself, but he basically saw me complaining about the fact that there was no good AUV3 oscilloscope, and so he made one. Well, I just wanted to be transparent about my relationship with David here from auDSPr, and in the end, it won't really matter because his apps carry themselves simply because they are so good. When it comes to iOS, I am thoroughly annoyed by how the volume works on here, and I hate the fact that I can't accurately set a volume. And you know, the worst thing about this is that when you're using these side buttons here on iDevices, the sweet spot is always in between an up press or a down press of a button. It's so frustrating, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. So the app is called Volume Control. You open it up, and what happens is it does not take over the volume control inside iOS, but coexists with it. So it works like this: whatever you use last is what goes. So if you do your settings inside volume control, the system will adjust after that. However, if you press a button and you change the volume, then the app will change accordingly. So whatever you use last is what is going to be used. Now, the app interface is very straightforward and minimalistic. You have a big long volume fader in the middle here, and it shows you the value up here in dBFS. So it's infinite or completely quiet down here, and it goes all the way up to -0. So whenever you're typing in a number here, if you press here, yes, this is so nice. Well, it will go to minus whatever you're typing. So if we type 22 decibels, it will go to -22 decibels. Now, to the side here, you have a nudging option, and it will nudge the volume up or down half a dB, which is really nice. You also have a dim button here, which will provide you with 18 decibels of dimming, and then you have a mute button too. Now, as I've already mentioned, it does show the volume in dBFS, but if you for some reason wanted to see the volume in percentages, then you just tap here and it will do that. It will show you everything in percentages. Now, what's really nice about volume control is that it supports split screen. So if you're using this app on an iDevice that supports split screen, you can have this app open right next to whatever app you're using. Now, if an app does not support split screen, then you can use the slide over or pop over view like this. Now, volume control also technically works with Bluetooth devices. And why I say technically is because some hardware developers treat their Bluetooth connection a little bit differently. So there are instances where this volume control app does not work. And David does warn about that on the App Store. However, I've tried it with my iK Multimedia iLoudspeaker here, and it works perfectly, so no problems there. And there's also another case in where you won't have access to the volume control, and that is when you're using sound interfaces that completely replaces the system settings for audio in and out. And in those cases, you're supposed to be changing the volume on the sound interface itself. And there you go. That's all you need to know about volume control, because that's all it does. It gives you a way of accurately setting your volume. And if you want to know why David made this app in the first place, you can go to the user manual by pressing up here at the volume control logo. opening that up and then pressing the middle option here, which is the user manual, and then you can go down and read about why David made this app. And there are even graphs in there, and if you're an audiophile and you're interested in this stuff, you're gonna love reading about this. There's even a cute section in here related to the dimming function. Yeah, you'll just have to check it out for yourself. And that's all I have to say about it. Now, if you want to support the work I do here on the channel, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't, then give me a thumbs up. And if you want to support me in other ways, you have these links here. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it.
I say moo. I say moo. We all say moo. Can you say moo? Do you like it?